Greetings, good people. I'm back and it's Hot Topics time. Thank you for clicking on the video. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Please be sure to pay your admission fee by hitting the like button and drop down in the comments and share your thoughts throughout the video. All right. So Diddy is begging to be let out of jail. Okay. Diddy wants freedom. Okay. And he is willing to put up $50 million to do so. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be locked up either. However, I'm not a criminal. Mary J. Blige and longtime stylist and friend Misa Hylton are going at it. Misa is suing Mary J. Blige, and Mary J. Blige has responded via her legal counsel. And Mr. Daystar Peterson, famously known as Tory Lanez, he has a hearing, an appeal hearing to be exact, set for August 18th, and some of his fans are excited. Some people think this could possibly mean that he could be released, okay? So without further ado, let's get into this Tory Lanez story first, okay? So social media was so excited when it was announced that Tory Lanez has a hearing scheduled, an appeal hearing scheduled for August 18th, okay? They were online. Hashtag Free Tory was trending. Everyone, his fans, not everyone, his fans were excited. Some of the people who were Megan Thee Stallion fans and Tory Lanez fans were going back and forth. Everybody was calling each other stupid. Typical stuff that takes place on social media, right? So let's get into this article really quickly. Tory Lanez is set to appear before the California Court of Appeal as he continues to fight his conviction in the high-profile shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, according to court reporter Megan Cuniff, oral arguments in Lanez's appeal have been scheduled for Monday, August 18th at 9 a.m. in Los Angeles. The rapper is currently serving a 10-year sentence after being convicted of 3 felonies related to the July 2020 incident. And the reason why I emphasize related to, because in the year 2025, at this very moment, this very second, there are people who still believe that Tory Lanez was found guilty of popping Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, okay? If that were the case, this would have been an attempted murder trial, and it was not, okay? For those who care, look up what is considered assault in the state of California. You don't actually have to cause any harm to be charged with assault, okay? If you take out a firearm and set it off in the middle of a quiet neighborhood, you could be charged with assault. But anyway, people are going to believe whatever they want to believe, okay? So Lanez has maintained his innocence and is seeking to overturn the convictions. The upcoming hearing marks a significant moment in his ongoing legal battle, okay? Now, he has every right to fight for his freedom. I really, really, really wish it would have been a good idea for him to take the stand during the trial, but whatever. I can understand why his legal counsel advised him not to. There was a whole bunch of lies being told. I feel that Tory was lying, Meg was lying, and I think it's evident that Kelsey young lady was lying as well. Okay, it's been circulating online that there is new evidence. 2 people have come forward. This is alleged. I don't know how true it is. This is according to Tory Lanez's team. People on his side are saying that 2 individuals who resided in the area at the time of this incident have come forward with their Ring camera footage. And this Ring camera footage is supposed to prove Tory Lanez's innocence. Listen, Daystar, if I was you, I would have dropped a dime on everybody, okay, if it meant my freedom. You know, this whole no snitching makes no sense to me. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even get down like this. So if you do something like this in my presence, when I tell you I am singing like the Mississippi Mass Choir and Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle, if they did a verses, okay? Singing high notes. You hear me? This was stupid. I just feel nothing made sense at the time. It was nothing but a ball of confusion. You had people who were going back and forth arguing, legalese. It was really, really a mess. And it took social media to higher heights, and not in a good way. It was just a high level of ignorance, a high level of aggression and violence, um, you know, victimization. It was just all too much. And I also still maintain my stance that Tory Lanez was foolish leading up to the trial. He made foolish decisions leading up to the trial. He made foolish decisions during the trial and after the trial, and after he was sentenced and jailed, he was still making foolish decisions. And his legal team, that's a whole nother can of worms. But drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Are you over this whole Tory Lanez situation? Do you think he should be free? Let me know. All right, up next. This is just so sad, y'all. Those of us who grew up during the bad boy era and the early 90s, we know exactly who these two queens are, okay? And that's Mary J. Blige and Misa Hylton. So, in a nutshell, all right, I'm going to get into this breakdown from Baller Alert. They did a good job summarizing the situation. But Misa is basically suing Mary J. Blige for $5 million. And Mary is saying that the lawsuit is as fraudulent as Misa's company. All right. So let's get into this summary. So the Grammy-winning singer is asking a judge to throw out a $5 million lawsuit filed by Misa Hylton, her management company, and rapper Vado. Now, you guys know who Vado is? If you don't remember, let me take you down memory lane. Vado is a rapper, okay? Most of you may not know him for his music if you're not really a hip-hop head. I don't know. But he used to date Tahiri. Tahiri used to be on Love and Hip Hop. Remember, she was dating Joe Budden. Okay, so Tahiri is Joe Budden's ex. Tahiri and Vado were also on Marriage Boot Camp. Okay, they were both physically, they both got physical with each other, and it was just weird. And I remember one instance where, Tahiri hit him in his face and he jumped up and put his hands around her neck. It was a whole mess in that house. Okay, Dr. Ish was over it. So if you remember watching Marriage Boot Camp with Tahiri and her man, it was this guy, Vado. Anywho, so Mary J. Blige is basically saying, Mary J. Blige's legal counsel is basically saying that the case is unfounded and harmful to her reputation. So in legal documents filed on behalf of Mary J. Blige and her company Beautiful Life Productions, her attorneys argue that claims are utterly meritless and part of a broader effort to pressure her into a settlement. Mary J. Blige's lawyer, Sarah Matz, accused the plaintiffs, plural, so it appears that Vado and Misa are suing Mary J. Blige. So let's see, where plaintiffs accuse plaintiffs of creating false allegations to generate media coverage. Plaintiffs and their counsel appear to enjoy fabricating accusations that will be discussed in the press and on social media for the purpose of harassing defendants and trying to coerce a favorable settlement. So Mary J. Blige's lawyer is basically saying, Mary J. Blige is famous, you're famous, Vado's famous, I guess, right? So bringing this to social media is going to cause a whole stir. Everyone is going to be talking about it. And basically, you're hoping that Mary J. Blige just cowers and settles and gives you what you want. But Mary J. Blige's lawyer is saying it ain't happening. Okay, so the lawsuit first accused Mary of interfering in a management agreement between Vado and Hylton's company, Misa Management. It claims that after Vado signed a recording deal with Beautiful Life Production in October 2023, which is Mary J. Blige's record label, his completed album was withheld to pressure him into ending ties with Misa Hylton, okay? Cutting her out of the 20% commission. So basically, I didn't even know Mary J. Blige had a record label. Anyway, let's read on. Blige's legal team countered that Misa Management does not exist as a legal entity and therefore has no right to sue in New York. It is stunning that plaintiffs and their counsel attempt to assert claims on behalf of this non-existent entity. So Mary J. Blige said, you suing Your company don't even exist. Like, what did she forget to pay the costs or the fees for the LLC? Anywho, so it makes me wonder, did Misa bring Vado to marry? Because if Misa is expecting, or Misa wanted a 20% commission, it appears that Misa brought Vado to Mary and said, "Hey, my girl got a record label. I could get married. I could get married to sign you." Which one of them was? Listen, I have a strong suspicion that one of these ladies was messing with Vado. Now this is just an assumption, because 30 years of friendship. Misa, why you really suing Mary? And Mary, why was Vado's project, if he was signed to you, why was Vado's project shelved? And why did you, according to what Misa is claiming, why did you want Misa, or why did your label want Misa cut out of the deal? Why you ain't want to pay Misa the little 20% commission? Mary, you, listen, you got coin. I know you working hard, but you got coin. Something ain't right, and something is not being told up in here. Somebody was messing with this boy. This is my assumption. How do you even reconcile the friendship after something like this? Like I said, those of you who, were of age, coming of age in the 90s during the bad boy era, you guys know how they were thick as thieves, Mary and Misa. Okay, they did their alleged dirt together. There's so much history here. So I can only imagine the things that they've overcome together, individually. It's so interesting. It makes me wonder, was the friendship already rocky and this was the last straw? Like, why couldn't this be worked out behind the scenes? Okay. I don't know. What was Vado's record deal? I have so many questions. And I can't wait until someone digs up the court files and posts it on social media. Because there's more to this. Why was his project shelved? Was his project shelved because it was whack? Was Vado in on, is Vado in on suing Mary J. Blige? There's just so much. I don't know. What if Mary J. Blige is being misrepresented? Like, what or if she's being blamed for something that her record label is doing? Maybe someone was doing something behind the scenes Mary wasn't privy to. Did she misread the contract? So many freaking questions. But I would hate to see a 30-year friendship go up in smoke because one of y'all was fooling with this boy. Or both of y'all was fooling with this boy. And now on Mad Day, contracts are being broken, lawsuits are being slapped on one another. It's just unfortunate, child. 30 years though. Listen, life happens. It happens. I would hope to see them reconcile. That would be great. But if not, I can totally understand. Okay. Now, speaking of Bad Boy and Misa Hylton, Misa Hylton's baby daddy, he wants out of not prison, but jail. He wants to be free. Okay. I get it. I wouldn't want to be locked up, but I'm not a criminal either. So prosecutors basically have until Thursday to respond to Diddy's request that he be released on a $50 million bond ahead of his sentencing. So I don't know what attempt this is. This might be the third attempt of Diddy's to post bail. So could Diddy be coming home soon? I don't think so, but we shall see. According to court documents obtained by legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff. Megan Cuniff is over there on Twitter tearing it up, doing her thing, posting documents and all types of stuff. So a judge has given prosecutors until this Thursday, y'all, to respond to Diddy's latest attempt at bail. As reported, the music mogul has asked to be released on a $50 million bond ahead of sentencing. Okay. If the bond is granted, right, Diddy, he'll be moved from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where he has been since September 2024, so coming up on a year, to his Miami home. So earlier this month, Diddy walked away from the bigger counts of racketeering, yada yada, in his trial. So he was only convicted of the two minor counts. Okay, and Diddy feels like Why am I in jail because I hired some prostitutes? Okay, or paid for some prostitutes. He feels he's the only man in history that has been locked, that is being locked up or held in jail for hiring prostitutes. Okay, his sentencing is set for October, and he faces a maximum penalty of 10 years for each guilty count. So he was found guilty on 2 of the charges, and he's facing up to 20 years basically. Now, I'm sure he will get time served, okay, because he's coming up on 1 year since he's been locked up. And even when he first got locked up last year, he made attempts to bail out. You know, he offered to surrender his passports, his mama passports, his kids' passports, put up how much ever millions of dollars. He even said, I'll be on an ankle monitor. Judge said no. Okay. After the trial concluded, it was said that some of his victims were afraid for their lives. Allegedly, Cassie wrote a letter to the court stating that he should remain behind bars until sentencing. I mean, right after the case concluded, this letter was circulating online, or it was said that this letter came out to the public anyway. And there were 2 other people, I can't recall who. So I don't think that this judge is really feeling the whole idea of Diddy being out on bail, or bailing out, bonding out. I don't think this judge is feeling it whatsoever. After the judge, the jurors, and spectators having to sit through that trial and listen to and watch the most vile things. Nah, you got to stay in jail, Jack. And what I still don't understand is, at his big age, you didn't realize that there's 2 justice systems in this country, sir. But whatever. I won't even go down that rabbit hole. Diddy, you might have to stay put. You know, I get it. Nobody wants to sit in jail, but at the end of the day, and you know what? To some degree, he's right. As far as, listen, I hired some prostitutes. That's what y'all found me guilty on. I shouldn't be sitting in jail for that. However, sir, again, there are 2 justice systems. So maybe you are sitting down for crimes that you haven't been charged for. If you know, you know. Like I said, I grew up during the bad boy era. Y'all know the rumors. Y'all heard the rumors. Anyway, we shall see what happens. So Thursday, they'll be responding to this request. $50 million after this trial and these lawsuits. And Diddy still got $50 million to put up? Must be nice. But see, your money can't save you, sir. Your money can't save you. So how much time y'all think Diddy is going to get? Y'all think he's going to get the full 20 years? I don't think so. I don't think it'll be the full 20. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets like 10, 15. I wouldn't be surprised. Some people are saying maybe a year and a half time with time served, and he'll probably be on probation for several years. Social media, you know, they've been weighing in a lot throughout this whole trial. And some things I agree with, some things I don't see. The only way for us to know is to listen in when it takes place and when it happens. I definitely will be keeping myself abreast of what's going to happen come Thursday. All right. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. I love you for watching, and I will talk to you later.